Hey, my lovelies. Welcome to my channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the full moon in Taurus lunar eclipse. This is going to be a powerful energy. I think what I am going to do is actually make the thumbnail of this video the screenshot that I took, because when I went to go live to record this message, the live said that it was set for December 31st, 1969 at 10 p.m. All right, so I'm going to do some more research to see exactly what message is trying to come through that is relevant to that year, what energies is trying to come through. I did the numerology on it, y'all, and I didn't see any of the same arrows running through the dates, right? But in the energy vibration that I'm going to be posting after this video, I'll get into that a little bit more, because this full moon lunar eclipse is going to be happening over a period of time, so you can see things unfolding for the next 6 months. So this is a full moon lunar eclipse happening in Taurus. Now remember, we had the new moon solar eclipse happening in Scorpio, which is the shadow side of Taurus. Okay, so my disclaimer is these messages are not for everyone. You want to keep in mind that energy is fluid. Take what you need, leave what you don't, shelf what you don't understand in case you need to circle on back for some understanding, inspiration, motivation, and maybe even some confirmation. Okay, I've already pre-pulled the cards, and this message is pretty much what we have been talking about for the past, I want to say, month and a half now, about stability, about really starting to own your own space that you're creating to bring balance and harmony into your own experience. Okay, so that's what's happening within this energy. So the message is really simple: slow and steady. This is not the season to be stubborn. And I'm going to raise my hand because I've had to speak to myself personally about the stubborn energy that can also be in the atmosphere. Okay, so Scorpio as well as Taurus is fixed energy, so we're talking about the negative polarity, which is a feminine polarity here. Okay, and the message is simple: this energy in Taurus can definitely grant you what you desire from the aspect of Scorpio, right? Because Taurus energy is steady, right? It's enduring, it's persistent, it's slow to anger, right? But on the flip side of that, it can be very stubborn, sometimes to its own detriment, right? And sometimes very self-indulgent, okay? So and I want to say maybe even a little bit superficial, because it can just be about the aesthetic of things instead of the depth of things. So Scorpio is calling that balance to come in. I want to say in your stability, and I don't necessarily want to say abundance means money, because money may not be what everyone is looking for as far as abundance is concerned. So this full moon is really focusing on the space that you're creating for yourself. Now remember, we talk about spaces and walls. You are going to have to create a space for yourself in this energy, a sacred space, whether it's mentally, emotionally, physically, or even in your actions. Create that space in your actions to make mistakes, right? But to be steady and persistent. Okay, instead of looking at it like a mistake, oh, okay, I've learned that lesson, I can't do that this way because that doesn't work, right? That's the type of energy that you need to operate, or the type of space that you need to create as you're moving throughout this energy. It is going to produce abundance, right? And it's really about that balance that we've been talking about, right? That's about that balance that we've been talking about for weeks now, okay? And not only just balance, but it's asking you to bring in that balance with peace and peace of mind. Now, y'all know I don't really necessarily like to use the word peace of mind, because we're elevating to a place now where you should be operating in wholeness. Wholeness is what you should be operating in, okay? So how you're moving through this energy, anything difficult coming through this season, because remember, eclipse that happened in that solar energy in Scorpio, secrets were going to be revealed. Setting boundaries was going to have to happen, right? Especially within your intimate relationships, right? or maybe areas where you shared money with people, okay? Scorpio energy gave you the access to all dimensions, but the flip side to that is personal control. Not because you have the power means that you get to misuse the power, okay? So as you create the space so abundance can flow and bring that balance in so you can have wholeness, right? Because you've collected all your peace. Now you have wholeness. You need to understand that confidence is the key. Whatever you're trying to build right now in this energy, you need to know that confidence is really the key as you're moving throughout this energy. And not only is confidence the key, you are going to have to surrender to the divine the things that you don't necessarily understand or the things that you don't feel like doing, and you're stubborn and moving in those areas and you need a little push. You're going to have to sit and get with the divine. You're going to have to sit and get quiet. Let me say that again. You are going to have to sit and get quiet. That is just what's going to be happening in this energy. Stillness is going to be required. This is time for you to really be able to release the things that are not working. So if you've tried something and it didn't work, it's time for you maybe not to try it as you are moving forward, right? Inner peace is going to be necessary for your abundance or when you're creating this space. And I really want to say inner wholeness. So that means that you may not necessarily have the long conversations that you've had with people that are not really talking about anything, right? Because you're now in a space where you're telling yourself the truth, and then you're really checking out people's energy and their vibration. You're really checking out not what just people do, but what they say and do, okay? Or say and don't do. Or don't say and don't do. So you're really paying attention to all of that. And some of you are paying attention to what you say and don't do, especially when it comes to that relationship with yourself. And that's going to be necessary as you're moving throughout this full moon energy. Okay. So stillness is going to be key, which means meditation, your quiet time, unpacking with yourself, chanting, whether you pray, in prayer, song, whatever it is that you need to be able to get to that place of stillness so you can hear your higher self and you can hear whatever guides or messages are coming through. That's what you need to be, because that's what's going to make you thrive in this energy. Okay. And as you move forward in your action, know that you're going to be thriving, but you are going to have to release the things that are no longer working for you, whether it's the insecurity, whether it's the competition that you have with somebody else, when really if you have your own lane, there is no competition. And at the end of the day, the only person that you should be in competition with is yourself. And who really wants to be in competition with themselves? Okay, you need to know that there is a sense of belonging. I feel like everyone is going through, especially when it comes to their stability, right? People are really, really keyed on what makes them uncomfortable right now. We have entered the energy of the metaverse, and we've been operating that energy for a while. And I am going to be doing a video. I'm taking notes, like I'm actually writing down notes, because I found out some information in meditation that I got to get out to you guys. And the interesting thing is, when you begin to connect allegories and you begin to connect all these different things, when you begin to connect allegories and all of these different things, my nose is itching me. You begin to see where you belong in all of this. You no longer have to go at anybody else's pace. You no longer have to think the way everybody else is thinking. You no longer have to be in the same fashion as everybody else. You no longer have to be in the same or the next trend. You find your own sense of beginning, where you're able really to go into that shadow aspect of yourself or go into that dark part of yourself and bring to light the things that you need to thrive, and not just what other people says thriving should be or what thriving looks like. Okay? So there is a sense of belonging here that you are supposed to step into. And that belonging has to do with you stepping into your truth, okay? Now, the flip side to that energy is some people are going to step into their truth, and their truth could just be about vindictiveness and revenge and stepping on people, right? So the vindictiveness would come from the Scorpio energy that you saw in the solar eclipse, right? And the revenge part, right? And the stepping on other people will come from the Taurus energy that you're now seeing in this full moon. Because, you know, the lower vibrational end of Taurus could be stepping on other people to get what you want, right? You have belonging and high priestess of earth energy, which means that you have the power to create physically what you want to see manifest. Okay? It's okay to pause, put that phone down. You don't got to talk to everybody every day to fix everybody else's problems. Sometimes when you're the strong one, people don't understand that you need a break too. You need to rest too. You need to be rejuvenated so you can pour into other people, right? So know that resting and rejuvenation is going to be a part of this journey that goes back to what we talked about with the stillness. There is going to have to be a sense of stillness for you to be able to create and maintain this space of abundance and balance. Okay, so now you do need to know also Sakura chakra energy showing up here, right? That energy deals with relationships change, okay, and the emotions connected to those changes within that relationship. Okay, so tell yourself the truth. What relationships in this season are working, what relationships are not. And last but not least, boundaries. That's the code word. Boundaries. The beautiful thing about this particular full moon, and I want to say even like early last year, this started where you started to see the full moons and the new moons started to line up with their shadow energy. So Scorpio and Taurus are working together within this eclipse to get you right. Set them boundaries, because this boundary setting is in 8th house energy. That's that energy from Scorpio that happened in that solar eclipse, right? With the Taurus energy, you may have to set boundaries because it can be overindulgent energy. It could be also energy where Tauruses are very patient people, right, y'all? So you gotta set boundaries in this energy if you're a Taurus, okay? And if you're just gonna be using the Taurus archetype in this energy, you gotta set healthy boundaries. Because Taurus is the archetype where people can tend to walk over because they're slow to anger. They're very kind and very giving, right? They want to cooperate, right? So be mindful. Money is something that comes just easily to Taurus, right? So if they are actually operating in their archetype, money is just going to be attracted to them because of the house that Taurus is ruled, second house, ruled by Venus, right? Or the flip side to that, with an immature or lower vibrational Taurus, you'll see that they can't ever hold on to money. But the thing here is, do not come in with this energy and try to take away the stability that money that they've worked hard for has created. All right? So don't think because they're all nice and kind. That's really what this energy is saying. Don't think because I'm nice and I'm kind. Nice and kind. What am I can't speak right now. Don't think because I'm all nice and I'm all kind means that you get to walk over me. That's really what that energy from Taurus can represent sometimes. Don't take advantage of my kindness. So as you're moving throughout this energy, know that steady and slow and steady is the way to go, right? Remember not to be stubborn. Remember not to overindulge, okay? You need to be persistent and consistent in this energy. It's all about setting those spaces for your abundance and balance to begin to be a part of your daily experience. And some of you may have to find out what abundance means to you by setting those boundaries. I had a conversation the other day with a young lady that had to set a very important boundaries because she had an experience that was showing her, you've been here before. Have you learned the lesson? And she set a boundary that someone else in the process, may have felt like they got the short end of the stick. But really, what they did was took advantage of her kindness. Because she was slow to anger. because she had the gift of patience. They took advantage of that, right? So slow and steady is the option here. People may say and do things, but your job is not to get stubborn, not to overindulge, but to be consistent and know that this is not, it's not a race. There's no competition here. It is okay for you to take your time. Okay. All right. I'm going to see you guys in the next energy vibration. Okay. Have a wonderful, wonderful experience in this full moon energy, y'all. Okay. Bye, my loves.